5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hi, everybody. I'm Alex Bennett. This is the Ramble. We go till midnight Eastern Time. And now it's time to check in with an old friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, out to San Francisco, California, from his rent-controlled apartment on his... You're not using your clamshell for this, are you?
Landline.
Landline. Probably not as good
the
as...
last one. The last landline in America, apparently.
This is Larry Bubbles Brown, ladies and gentlemen, America's landline lover. Boy, yeah, you really you're living in the 1800s or something, aren't you? You would have been happy.
Well, I was just reading about landlines, how there's very few left, and the phone company doesn't want to support them. But they said they're really good because they have their own power supply. So in blackouts and things, they still work.
Well, also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, when we've had blackouts and stuff, cell phones still work. The only problem is that when you have the blackout, it's only good for a certain amount of time before you run out of power, in which case you don't have any way to recharge the phone. That's the problem.
Which was a problem in Marin a couple of weeks ago. The Mill Valley and up there, the power was out for 5 days. So people were driving. San Francisco was clogged with people from Marin coming down here to charge their phones and buy food and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, they couldn't get gas in Marin because the pumps were all shut.
By the way, for you people in Marin, fuck you and your Teslas. Okay?
Yeah. Charge that.
Charge that, motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah,
I said my sex life is like a Tesla, 0 emissions.
Oh, well, what do you know? We lost Larry Brown. I got to go call him back here. What happened? This is a problem with this landline. No, Larry is unavailable. What is this? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. He ended on a good line. Let's see here. There we go. Wow.
We got cut off.
I have no idea what happened. You know, I mean, it could just be I'm using Skype and to do a phone call, and Skype has a tendency to go fuck you. Anyway, so you said your Teslas are like your sex life.
My sex life is like a Tesla, 0 emissions.
Thank you. Boom, boom, boom,
Thank
boom,
you.
boom, boom. Do you do that one on stage?
Yeah, occasionally. Somebody told me it was a great joke, and then it really doesn't get a big laugh, so maybe it wasn't.
Wait a minute. It's a great joke, and it doesn't. But it is a great joke, and it doesn't get a good laugh.
No, not really. No.
Why is that?
I have no idea. I thought it would.
Jeez, that's a funny line. But anyway, so no. So I mean, if the electricity goes at your place, you're still in pretty good shape because the phones will continue working.
The phone will work. Yeah.
I was in a blackout here in New York City, and the phone still worked. You know, the landlines still worked. And in fact, you know, in the back in I can't remember what year it was. It was not the big first one. It was like the second blackout they had. And, of course, it was pitch dark in our apartment. But I had one of those Princess phones that lit up when you picked up the phone, and it had a light on it. I mean, no electricity, and the Princess phone had light. So I was using that to read by.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, blackouts are fun for about the first night, and then they're not fun anymore.
Yes, you're constantly reaching for that switch that doesn't work. And
you don't have blackouts. We didn't have blackouts in San Francisco, did we? We had brownouts, they called them. But
I think we didn't have power for about a day with the earthquake.
Right. But that was in various areas where the lines had been broken because of the earthquake. Like in the marina, we had no electricity.
Yeah.
That's the reason. That's the reason I had to move out for about 3 or 4 days and go sleep on other people's couches and so on. Here's the big.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah, the big radio star. Oh no, I wasn't on the air at the time. I think I was out. Yes, I was out of work at the time. I had been fired by Live 105.
He left in July, I think.
Yeah, and then the earthquake happened. I was looking for work, and then the earthquake happened. I went, well, there go my chances for finding any work, And that's why ultimately I went to Florida. I went to Florida and worked there while they were fixing my apartment in San Francisco, the apartment house in San Francisco, in which I would have had to move to another floor because it was going to be so noisy below where they were driving pylons into the ground and things like that to support the building, to retrofit the building, that I missed all that, okay? And then I left to Florida and I came back. But, yeah, I was during the earthquake. And I'm sitting there and going, fuck, I can't find work, and now this is going to make it really good, So, what did you do during the earthquake? Because you lived in you didn't live in the marina. The marina, by the way.
No, I was. I was like a few blocks from you.
Is your place in the marina?
Yeah.
I thought it was on the other side of Columbus.
No, I'm at
not Columbus, but what's the main street?
I'm near Fort Mason.
What's the main street that goes down to the bridge? That's
Lombard.
Lombard, excuse me. See, Columbus, Lombard, which ends up being Curly Q down a hill. But I thought you were on the other side of Lombard from me, but you aren't.
No.
Oh,
so we're on the bad side.
But where are you? You're on landfill, in other words.
We're on landfill, yeah.
Yeah. Where were you? What street?
It was near, it's Lombard near, Goff. Lombard near Goff.
Oh, okay. Because I've never been to your place, but then again, I don't think anybody has.
Very few people have.
Yeah. Except of course the hookers that are now stuffed and living in your apartment, but.
When I die, it'll be like those newsreels where they show the FBI agents just coming out with boxes.
and then on television, a neighbor saying he was such a quiet guy.
So quiet.
Oh man! Oh, isn't it wonderful?
Why do we always have this comics? I think we have this interest in serial killers and people like that. I don't know why, but
do you know what I found? Comics for a while, at least that I knew, were so inured of. Is that a good word? But did I just use a word that even exists?
That's a good word. Yes,
it is a good word, and there is such a word as inured. It was The Godfather.
That's true.
Certain comedians I knew. I think Stephen Pearl was one of them. We should have asked him.
Pearl was huge in The Godfather.
It could literally recite The Godfather, including the Italian.
Wow.
Yeah, and Pearl was a big one on that. And you know who was the biggest on it? Richard Belzer could literally quote you every line in The Godfather. Yeah. So I mean, it was that was a big obsession with comics, and I don't know why.
And they also were obsessed with Scarface.
Yes, but you know why? Not the original Scarface with Paul Muni years and years and years ago.
Pacino.
But the one with Pacino, because it was so fucking bad. In fact, it was Pearl who described it that it's a cartoon, and it's almost amazing that the main characters don't wear gloves, like cartoon characters. He says, it's just like a big cartoon. It was maybe, in my estimation, one of the worst movies ever made.
And it was, I think it was Oliver Stone, wasn't it?
It was Oliver Stone, yes.
It was cartoonish, so I don't know why. I think it was a big hit. But.
Did he direct it or just write it? I don't think he directed it. Let me look it up here.
Let's wiki that.
What we do is we IMDb it. Come on, IMDb. Let me see here. Scarface. Scarface. Let's see, Scarface, and then we go to the Pacino. It was directed by Brian De Palma, but it was written by Oliver Stone.
Wow.
Lines like, "You don't get a scar like this from eating pussy," or "Say hello to my little friend." I mean, come on.
It was a cartoon.
It was a cartoon. And then getting Al Pacino, who is about as far from looking like he's Hispanic, to play Tony Montana. Just ridiculous. The whole thing was just absolutely off the wall. And one of the worst acting jobs, by the way, in the history of Al Pacino, who I think, had some pretty shitty acting jobs from time to time,
Yeah, I think you're right.
Do you ever think Pacino was a good actor?
I thought he was good in Godfather, but he was in Godfather, he was very restrained for the most part.
Well, that's because you got a director who restrained him, that he was his first big job, all right? And you've got this director who was telling him what to do, and he pulled a great performance out of him. But after that, everything was always over the top. I mean, even look at Dog Day Afternoon. Yeah, it's all over the top.
All over the top, you're right.
Yeah. And I just consider him a mediocre actor, but what do I know? Everybody, you'll say, "Oh, Al Pacino, one of the greatest actors of all time." I'm going, what?
Who are some other actors that have had long careers but were not good actors?
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say, because there are some actors that, as a motion picture actor, created a persona that is the reason why people would go and see their movies. In other words, you like Tom Hanks, all right? So you want to see in whatever Tom Hanks plays a little bit of Tom Hanks in there, So the question is Tom Hanks a good actor? I think he can turn in a decent performance, but I don't think he has range. I don't think he can play all kinds of things. He's got a certain kind of thing he plays best. John Wayne.
That would be true of Clint Eastwood.
Well, was John Wayne a good actor or a bad actor?
Mort Saul told me better than most people think.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that assessment. I think he was greater than most people thought, because he knew how to play a scene, but he always played it as John Wayne. You went to see John Wayne. You didn't go to see John Wayne in prosthetics trying to be Phil Spector or something,
Right.
And John Wayne was, I think, for what he did, a good actor. I mean, he's done some movies I love watching. There's a picture called The Comancheros, which I say is the ultimate John Wayne movie, for John Wayne being John Wayne, in which he keeps referring to this other character who's French as, "Hey, Monsieur." I mean...
That's so classic Wayne. Monsieur.
Where are you going, Monsieur? But I think he was smart enough to use the term Monsieur, that the character would be that way. So, I mean, I hate John Wayne as a person. His politics just make me want to vomit. But as an actor, I love watching John Wayne. I have to admit it,
Yeah.
So
apparently that funny walk he had, he copied. That's the way his stuntman walked, so he copied that.
I think part of that walk was from an old I'm trying to remember his name, an old silent guy. One time I saw an interview with him, and he said that walk was kind of the way that guy walked in movies.
Oh, okay.
I'll remember his name after we're through here, because I always remember things right after we're through here. But anyway, so I put people in a certain category as actors in movies. To begin with, they're either movie actors or they're actors. All right? Movie actors have a persona. You go to see that persona. They take a certain kind of part. They play it well. Okay? There are also those people who are not actors. They're reactors. In other words, they're basically reacting to what's going on around them. But, I mean, then you have, really strong actors who always played different roles. People don't remember this name probably, but Paul Muni always played different people, And he played Louis Pasteur, and he had a French accent, blah, 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 and that was acting. But, Katharine Hepburn was always the same in every movie, wasn't she?
Yeah, pretty much.
So was she a great actress? Or did she have a great film persona?
Persona.
Yeah, which makes her a great movie actor. All right?
Yes,
because
like,
that's
Steve McQueen or Clint Eastwood.
But a great movie actor has a persona that people like to see, no matter what. Jimmy Stewart. He could play sad, he could play happy, but he was always playing James Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a great movie actor. And so putting it in that context, I think maybe John Wayne was the greatest movie actor of all time.
Wow.
I mean, as a movie actor, okay? And we're not talking about being a good actor who can, play different roles and disappear into the character and so on. There was no disappearing into a character for John Wayne. So you went to see John Wayne swagger. And that's why I liked him in the Comancheros. So
I got to see that. I've seen the Searchers. Is good.
The Searchers is a great film. It's just a positively great film. It's probably the classic Western. Although, there's one film that I always think of as a really classic Western. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Tombstone. Do you ever see Tombstone?
No.
About Wyatt Earp and the OK Corral and the whole thing. It was just a terrific Western. It was just wonderful. Love that film. My old producer Christy used to love that film too. That was
really?
Like her favorite film of all time. Yeah. So anyway, how about movie actors that you liked? Who did you always enjoy watching?
I like McQueen, and I guess you got a lot and Eastwood. They're not much range, but the personalities are so strong.
Yeah. What do you think would have happened to, like, I've always argued this, would have happened to James Dean if he had lived? How would his career have gone? What would have been the arc of his career, do you think?
It could have gone two ways. He could have been a great actor, or he could have been kind of a kind of a hack actor doing like really shitty films.
A hack actor doing shitty films. Okay, yeah. I think he probably would have. I'm imagining that he would have. I don't know. Had two careers. He would have had a career initially, then it would have petered out, and then as time went on, he would grow into roles. And as he got older, he would get other roles, and eventually probably get some kind of Academy Award nominating roles when he was in his 50s or 60s. That happens a lot to these people.
Yeah.
They kind of disappear for a while, and then they come back. I think that might have been what would happen to him. I always like to tell the story about Mark Frost, who did Twin Peaks with David Lynch, who I said to him, I've always had the opinion that if James Dean were still alive, you would have hired him for Twin Peaks. He says, oh, yeah, I would have made him the guy who owns the hotel.
Wow.
Instead of Richard Beymer. So I always felt right in that assessment of how he would have turned out. But he didn't turn out that way. And instead, he only made 3 films, for Christ's sake. He didn't...
Like in 1 year.
In 1 year. And he made 3 films, and then he was dead. And I guess he just got frozen in time and became this. Did you hear what they're doing with him now? They're going to use CGI to recreate James Dean in a film.
It's kind of creepy.
I know it's kind of creepy. But, he came and went, and then he had this image that always lasted. He was frozen in time. So was Marilyn Monroe. She was frozen in time. They never had the chance to get old, so you go, what the fuck happened to him?
Yeah. Now, Dean died at 24.
Yep. And one of my best friends, Jack Garfine, was the guy who pretty much discovered James Dean when he was at the Actors Studio, because Jack was teaching at the Actors Studio and also directing Broadway. And I said to him once, I said, what do you think would have happened to James Dean if he had lived? And he said he would have done very well. He felt he would have done well. So, I defer rather to his feeling on the matter, because he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was James Dean, and we could go on. We could speculate forever what would have happened to him. I did ask him one thing though. I said, we said blah 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 blah. I said, but James Dean was gay, right? And he said, no, James Dean was not gay. Now I had always assumed he was a gay. Did you?
I'd always heard he was bi. So.
Yeah, no, he said he was quite straight. So that did away with one of my images of James Dean.
Okay, that goes with that rumor.
Well, there were a lot of stories about him and certain people and so on and so forth, and it turns out that he was not gay. So,
okay, what
can we do about that? Well, anyway, so what's happening in the wonderful life of? Well, I shouldn't ask. Nothing's probably happening in your life.
Nothing ever happens here. So,
I mean, what's a day like in the life of Larry Bubbles Brown? You get
after I talk to you, I'm going to go out and run 6 miles.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to got a little gig up near Davis tonight. So.
Mm-hmm. How long does it take you to do? I mean, how long does it take you to do your 6 miles?
An hour.
An hour. And where do you go exactly? Because I know the area.
I'll run down through the Fort Mason and around the Marina Green. Sometimes I'll go up to Chrissy Field.
That's what I figured you'd do. I figured you'd go down into the Presidio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Presidio is this big area, folks. It was once an Army base and is now Lucasfilm or whatever.
Yes. Lucas owns all of Northern California, apparently.
Yeah. In fact, there's a statue of Yoda on the property. But you know what it was years ago. There was a hospital there. Is it still there, Letterman Hospital, or is the
I
building
actually had
still
a
there?
job there working in the payroll department, Letterman Army Medical Center.
Yeah, but I mean, is it still there?
No, it's torn down.
Oh, the building was torn down for the Lucas thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was torn down for the Lucas thing. It was. I remember when my friend Shecky was here in San Francisco visiting. He was there because Letterman was doing his show at the Palace of Fine Arts, his TV show, for 5 nights that week from San Francisco.
I remember that.
And he had people go out to Letterman Hospital and shoot it because he liked the fact that it said Letterman Hospital.
Yeah,
You know. But it was an Army hospital, and that whole place was an Army base. And it was really quite terrific.
Originally built, believe it or not, they actually treated wounded from the Civil War. How they transported them out here, I have no idea.
Why would they? That doesn't make sense.
I know. The trip would have killed them.
The Civil War was, and you didn't have transportation. It's not like you had airplanes to bring them or anything like that. That doesn't make sense.
I know.
Are you sure that's true?
I heard that. It's probably wrong, but we should wiki that.
I'm going to wiki it. Wiki wookie. Ahuma huma nuka nuka appa wappa it. Hey, listen, we're running out of time here.
Okay, I had one quick question for you. I got to see this Scorsese movie where they're making De Niro and Pesci look younger.
Oh, that will be out in a couple of weeks on Netflix, so I'll let you know what I think of it.
Yeah, we got to talk about that next time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful and attractive Larry Bubbles Brown. Bye, Bubs.
Bye, Alex.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, everybody. Okay, there was Larry Bubbles Brown and another edition of We Talked to Larry, or whatever that was called. Anyway, hello, everybody. Let me bring up Skype. Let's see if it works better than it did last night. Last night I had a problem because the Skype was just showing me one person, and it was the first person who called me last night. So we'll see what happens tonight. See what else they have in store for me as a surprise. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah. I've been one technical problem after another. Had a few before we started tonight, but here we are, and the show so far has gone perfect. Okay. Let me see here. Here comes Phil. Okay, right. And then I got to add Charlie Wallace here, and is he there? Let me see here. Charles Wallace. We add Charlie. No, Charlie won't add. Oh, there he is. There he is. And then I have people, and I have. Oh, wow. Let me. I gotta make these people. Oh, let's see here. We got that. I'll put Charlie in the third place there. Okay, because there we go. And I got everybody, all three people on the. On my, here we go. Kathleen's calling. Let me see here. We gotta go here. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on a second, Kathleen. Oh boy, this is always a real pleasure for me to get this thing going. And when everybody calls too fast, call slower, folks. Oh, here comes Jeff Stein. Wait a minute. First of all, here, let me get Live Bob Kazoo in there, or whatever that name is that you use. And then in the next one, we got Stein Zeller. Let me see here, Jeff. Let me see. Is that okay? There we go. All right. Now we have look at all those people. Already we've got 5 people.
Hey, who was the first one to call?
Huh?
Who was the first one to call?
It was Phil Meyer.
Because I was watching your show and I hear the Skype thing go and ask my son. I go, fucking Phil.
Watch your mouth, young lady.
I know.
Yeah. She always had a foul mouth, that lady. Yeah.
It was just funny. I was laughing because I couldn't get onto Skype fast enough.
I mean, not that.
Yeah.
Well, Bubbles, Larry Brown, I saw on Facebook he's doing an album. I think the end of the month, a comedy album at a place in San Francisco.
He hasn't mentioned that to me, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'll look it up and maybe you'll plug it for him.
Well, if he wanted
he'll
to
get a few people.
If he wanted to plug it, I think he would, wouldn't he?
No. The guy is and he just doesn't promote.
Well, apparently he promotes because he put it on Facebook.
Yeah, but you know how long it took him to do that? This might have been 2 years old.
Maybe. It could be. So anyway. So, well, thank you very much. That's all we have for tonight, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Well, yeah, sitting here bemoaning my imminent death, you know.
Welcome to the club.
Huh?
So welcome to the club.
What, you got a problem too, Charlie?
Oh no, I'm just dying slowly.
Yeah, you're
One
dying
piece
slowly.
at a time.
Well, with your toes being chopped off, it was by 1,000 cuts. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's by 1,000 cuts. I don't know.
All right. Looks like it's the album is going to
All
record.
right. We don't need to talk about it.
All right.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about it. I'll ask him about it, and if it's so, he'll plug it. I'll ask him next time we talk.
Well, okay, you got time.
Yes, I have time, Phil.
Well, maybe you don't have time. We'll find out on Tuesday.
Yeah, right. No. I'm just getting the biopsy on Tuesday. We'll find out 5 days later.
Fun.
Can I have your communist hat if you pass?
No. No, not at all. You don't get that coveted commie hat, man.
And the Obama shirt.
Yeah. I wonder if I would get in a lot of trouble if I wore that now in Hong Kong.
Yeah. I don't think that they particularly like those guys.
Yeah.
In Hong Kong.
Yeah. So,
Obama, I don't think they care, but Mao Zedong there on the book, they don't like him.
What do you mean Obama? Why do you bring up Obama?
Because your shirt has a picture of Obama in a communist hat or something.
No, I'm not wearing it tonight.
I know, but that's the coveted shirt.
Do you want the shirt?
Of course, I want the shirt.
You sure want the shirt, of course.
If you go to China, wear a Winnie the Pooh shirt.
No, actually, I have the shirt of he's referring to is a shirt of a Chinese soldier with the face of Barack Obama. And it's a nice shirt. When I saw it, I just went, wow, I love that. That's cool. That is so very cool. Yeah. Hello, Josh, with us for the second night in a row. That's nice. Charlie's probably had some baseball stuff, Charlie, or?
Yeah, I'm supposed to. I'm part of the night, but it's raining.
Oh, okay. Well, thank God for the rain and that we get you.
Yeah.
You know, and of course, Schmoody here is she's got a new schedule now, so it entitles her to be able to call us at night, which is terrific, and to pet her pussy as usual.
Kitty.
Now, I restrained myself from saying that.
Well, of course, but you're not the host of the show with no taste at all, you know. So, by the way, I got the Disney Plus thing, you know, and
You're testing it.
Yeah, I don't think it's a competitor to Netflix, to be honest with you, because it all the stuff it has is Disney stuff, you know, which isn't, you know, there's more to Netflix than just Disney stuff. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Doesn't Disney own some other stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, it's got the Marvel stuff and stuff like that, but it's limited to that universe, okay? Yeah. But I did see one thing. We saw one thing. We just loved it. They did a photorealistic version of Lady and the Tramp. Oh. And it's wonderful. It is just wonderful. I think the animals are animated. I think they're CGI, but I'm not quite sure. It's so convincing. But they have expressions and they have takes they do, and it's really, if anybody subscribes to the free 1-week trial, you should put on your list of stuff to watch. A Lady and the Tramp. It is just amazingly good, and all the reviews I've read on it, people seem to agree. You know, so.
Have you tried to sign up for the trial on any of the other services, the YouTube one or the Hulu one?
No.
No.
No. I don't need. Well, I don't need the what Hulu.
Well, I know you don't need it, but maybe you try it.
All Hulu has is their basic service, and then they have a service where they also give you TV channels and
I have that
cable.
one. It's $45
I don't.
a month.
I don't need it. I've got cable.
Yeah,
but I do have the Hulu without commercials.
Yeah. Well, the $45 a month Hulu has commercials, but it has more TV than I was getting with Sling.
Well,
Hey, Phil,
I've got FiOS. I'm getting
Yeah.
every fucking thing known to mankind, Phil.
I know, but you're also spending my inheritance on the amount of money you spend on your cable.
Don't worry,
now,
son.
If you got the Hulu.
Don't worry, son. I disinherited you a long time ago. Yeah, but no, I pay probably, I pay a lot of money for the bandwidth here that I have, this high bandwidth that I have. And I'm paying $250 a month for the bandwidth and for a whole bunch of stuff, Plus, you know what they always throw in, and I don't need or want? The fucking telephone.
Yeah.
It's like probably it doesn't cost them anything, so they give it to you and act like they're giving you something, and you try to tell them, "I have an iPhone."
Can you see Charlie's fingers?
Oh,
he may not have them much longer.
Call me quick.
You know why? Because I don't have him up on as a main. Let me put him up here. That's what I hate about this thing is you have to drag people down into the picture. So if you've got 6 people or something, like 5 people, you've got to put one of them up in the corner. So you're up in the corner now, Jeff. Okay.
Charlie.
So just yell if you.
I
have
go like
to.
this.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes, Charlie. You can put your fingers down.
Yeah. You talked me into getting CBS All Access, and now I'm watching Star Trek Discovery and Twilight Zone all through the night.
Wait a minute.
So thanks a lot.
I don't think I told you. I don't have it.
I had CBS All Access and I dropped
maybe
it.
it was Phil then. That's
Yeah.
where I got the idea. It was from this. So.
Well, I have other, shall we say, nefarious ways of getting Star Trek Discovery, and that's the only thing I would want on CBS All Access. Otherwise, what do I want? The Good Wife? Come on, I don't need any of that.
Of course you do.
I like the Good Fight. Hey.
Good Wife.
Good Wife.
Good Wife.
Oh, Good Wife.
Right.
Well, that was the previous show.
And then they had a show called what? The Good Fight.
Yeah.
And then the sequel is The Good Divorce.
Yeah. And
I don't care as long as they keep bringing out the gorgeous women. I love that show.
Really? Oh, okay. Well, if I could jerk off to it, I guess I would subscribe to it.
Oh, look at that.
What?
It's Howdy Doody there.
That's not Howdy Doody. Does anybody know? Hold that up. Hold that up. Hold that up again.
That's an older Howdy Doody.
No, that isn't Howdy Doody. Who is that? Do you know who that is? I bet she doesn't even know who that is.
It's Slappy.
Oh God.
No, you named it Slappy.
It's Slappy from Goosebumps.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. It looks like Jerry Mahoney, Paul Winchell's puppet from years ago.
Nope.
Well,
It's my son's.
what is it? Some kind of spooky character or something?
The mouth
It's
moves?
from the what's the guy's name? R.L. Stein.
Yeah.
Goosebumps.
Oh, okay. And my kids like that.
I'm not a fan of it anymore.
Because when I was a kid, I saw a movie that scared the fucking shit out of me, and I was like, oh,
Birth of a Nation?
It scared the shit out of me, and it was called The Great Gabbo, starring Eric von Stroheim, and he's a ventriloquist, but he becomes a murderer or something. I can't remember what the plot was. I just remember at the end, they had him in a jail cell with his ventriloquist dummy, and the ventriloquist dummy comes alive and kills him.
And that terrorized me for years. I look at a dummy like that, I'm still scared. You know?
Wasn't the
There
human?
was a movie that Sean and I started to watch, but I was like, "Whoa,
It was 3 years ago.
yeah, he's a little too young to watch this," and it was called Dead Silence.
Oh, I remember that. No, I'm Dead Ringers what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dead Silence?
Yeah, very creepy.
What was that about? Silence.
About like
What was it? It was about ventriloquist dummies.
it's about this lady that was ventriloquist, and then she died, and then she got her tongue cut off, and then I was like,
Yeah, it's like,
Ooh.
yeah, it was just some lady was a ventriloquist and something happened. She got her tongue cut off and she possessed some ventriloquist doll. And I think this doll was murdering people. But like we watched a quarter of it and I look at Sean and he's white as a ghost. And I thought, well, maybe I shouldn't have you watch this.
that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, well, it probably wouldn't scare you today.
No,
Yeah.
it wouldn't because he loves all kinds of horror movies.
I
Yeah.
had a song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The knife down.
Well,
Chucky.
Yes.
Yeah, Chucky movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian Dourif.
Why did I give up?
the thing is that dummies or dolls killing people seems to be a recurrent theme in horror.
Yeah.
And wife of Chucky.
I know.
Yeah.
Who played wife of Chucky?
Tilly.
James Dean.
You bingo.
Jennifer Tilly.
Bingo. You got it.
Oh, Jennifer Tilly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Jennifer Tilly. It sounds like she was fertile. Jennifer Tilly.
Was she the one that was on Hill Street Blues?
No.
No.
You wrong again, Phil.
That's a Tilly. Her name was the last of Tilly, but
She was in the movie Liar, Liar, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
She had a sister,
Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but Jennifer Tilly still. What's she on now? Constantly been on it for years. TV show. Family Guy. She plays the wife of the next door neighbor without legs. Yeah. So.
Oh, holy crap.
Well,
Jeff, do you know any of these references we're making here?
I only know some of them from my kids.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are you tonight, Jeff?
you're muted.
Oh no.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hey.
Here we go.
I just have to speak quietly.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, I'm in Atlanta,
Oh, you're still in Atlanta.
Atlanta.
but tomorrow I'll be in Florida.
Oh, God. How terrific. I wish I were in Florida.
I bet you do. Is it still 21 degrees there?
I haven't gone out to find
freezing.
out. I haven't left the house in 4 days now. No, it's too
Down
cold.
there to
It's
get
too
warm
fucking
and get
cold.
Yep.
Girlfriend comes home and she says, "Did you go out today?" And I go, "No." And she said, "Why not?" And I said, "'Cause it's fucking freezing." Oh, well, that shouldn't stop you. It was sunny. I'm going, son, it's sunny in the Great White North, and it's still cold as shit, So.
Yeah, Patrick posted a thing showing it was 6 degrees where he was.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. What temperature is it now? Let me see here. Do I have a temperature here? Am I running a temperature? Let me look at my watch. Oh, it's 42 degrees. It's actually getting warm.
There you go.
It's warmer there than it is here. It's 40 here.
I don't
Really?
know what it is here.
Yeah. What's
let's see.
the temperature there? This is really an interesting show we do here,
Oh,
folks.
yeah,
in
temperature.
case you
Share the temperature.
Yeah, it's a show we do for 2 hours a night in which people talk about the weather in their area.
58 degrees in Walnut Creek.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How much is it in Tracy, California?
I don't know. But I'll find out on my trusty, stupid phone.
Oh, it warmed up a little. It was 44.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here we go. Wait a minute. Sees my face.
Ooh, it's 59.
Really?
It's warmer than Walnut Creek.
59. Look at this, folks.
Okay,
What-
you've been a great crowd. See you tomorrow.
This is.
What do you got? Atlanta 41.
41 in Atlanta.
And-
Yeah, I mean, it's been cold
And
all
rain.
around the country.
Yeah. See, folks, this will really get us the numbers now.
Well, if we had a cat or paint drying, we would.
Paint drying.
Listen,
pretty
one
well.
time I actually had, I think it was paint drying. No, I didn't do paint drying. I did,
A building, I
Grass
think.
growing.
streets drying.
Side of a building.
Yeah, side of a building drying after a rain. And I got something like 700 viewers.
I
I do this, I get like 3 people.
I was in a seminar on Wednesday put on by Stainmaster.
That must have been exciting. Tell us all about it. That will add to our.
It's not that exciting, but they showed us their new advertising
Because
campaign.
speaking of Stainmasters, you've never seen my sheets.
Anyway, they were talking about their new advertising campaign, and it's cats. It's cats doing stuff, cats sitting, cats knocking stuff over, and they said that they're getting tons of views. What
does that have to do with Stain?
It has. Well, cats knock stuff over. They stain the carpet, and then the Stainmaster doesn't stain like regular carpets.
Oh, I see.
It's treated.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Why don't
Yeah,
they
cats
just
used to
hire
knock
me?
over glasses
Why
of
don't they
wine.
hire me? They can videotape me jerking off over a rug.
Well, I don't know how well that would go over in Middle America.
Oh, okay.
But hey, I donated some money to a thing called 4Ocean, and I got my metal straw
Bracelet.
today. Huh?
What?
Yeah, I got it comes. You carry it on your keychain, and
You always have it.
this way you always have it, and it even has
Wait a minute,
something.
let me keep talking. I'm going to just put you as a whole picture there so people
All
can
see.
see.
Well,
you.
it'd be good also if I could get the damn thing out of the container without breaking it. So far, it's no good. How do you
Damn,
drink from these
childproof
plastic?
lid.
Yeah, well, they fill-proofed it. Jesus Christ! This is the brush that you use to clean it. Maybe if I stick the brush in there, I can pull the thing out. Yeah, that worked.
There you go.
Sort of.
We can't see what you're doing, but
Oh well, I got the
There
straw
you
out.
go.
See, the straw bends and will go into the little container, and then you open it up, and and you can either be a conductor, or you can suck through the metal straw.
that's really nice. But you know what I don't get? I understand that plastic straws are ruining our oceans. Okay.
Yes.
I'll buy that one. But
Inside the straw, it's plastic.
will you let me finish? Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is so wrong about paper straws, especially the ones that are like coated and things like that? You can
They
do a
collapsed.
No, you can do a paper straw,
That's what we grew up on.
and they're biodegradable. By the way, plastic straws are biodegradable. It's just you that's impatient.
Yeah, I understand. So
Yeah,
I now have my own metal straw, and the $30 donation, which gets you the metal straw. Also, they clean up 1 pound of plastic from the ocean. So,
Really?
yeah. And they even sent me a thank you card, and
So, how do you feel about your hero Donald Trump being against all the stuff about the environment? Of which
Well,
this
I don't know
is-
that he's against stuff about cleaning up the environment. I think he just thinks that carbon credits and all this other stuff is a scam.
No. He's been closing down all kinds of things that prevent us from doing just the very thing you said that you want to see done.
Yeah, well, I got my straw I'm good.
Yeah, you've done your part to clean up the seas, mister.
Yeah.
How much did that cost?
$25 plus freight, so it was $30.
Boy, that must be a heavy straw.
Yeah, well, it'll probably break the first time I use it.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I do have the brush
Yeah.
to clean it out.
Yeah,
It's pretty cool.
So how are you doing tonight? Let me see here, Josh.
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
Yeah, what's happening in your neck of the woods? Is it cold?
Yeah, it's in the 20s.
Oh, really?
27, 28. I'm sure it'll get colder overnight. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have pretty similar weather to what Patrick would have in Wisconsin most of the time. So, yeah, it's already snowed here once. So everything was covered, ground, everything. And so it was a fairly decent little snow. And when we came back from D.C., my last 100 miles or so was all this freezing rain and sleet, and so it's it's wintertime.
What did you do in D.C.?
We just took a little trip. We just sightseeing for. We were there 3 or 4 days. So it was just we usually take a few trips a year, and a couple of those are usually, pretty small destinations, 3, 4, 5 days, and not like major trips. Like when we go out west or something. So it was just one of our small trips. We took some tours and did some sightseeing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's
pretty good. What's that?
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. We had been before, but not for a little while. And I don't know. DC is one of those places that, I think you can go many times.
Yeah.
And it never really gets old.
Yeah, I was there. How many years ago? A radio station wanted to hire me.
JFK.
JFK, yeah, WJFK, and so we were flown down there. Gary, my business manager, and I, and we did things like went to the Smithsonian and crap like that, and I had a very nice time.
That's what we did.
I got a picture of the guy that took your job.
We didn't visit the White House, but. Well, we took a tour of the Capitol and went to the archives, to see the main sites and just some walking around, looking at most of the sites. We took a nighttime tour, which was pretty nice. They got these night tours you can take because, everything's lit up in D.C. Yeah. I mean, it really is a nice city down in the kind of like in the Federal District where all the monuments and stuff like that are at. It looks pretty at night. It was pretty good, so... We had a little trouble on the way down with a flat tire on the interstate, but once we got that straightened out, it was everything was pretty good.
And what was the weather like there?
Yeah, it was pretty cold the first day. It was only like maybe mid to high 30s, but it was really good, strong breeze. So it was pretty cool.
See how exciting this show's getting?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah. And the next hour, if people are still here, we could talk about the flat tire and all that.
Listen,
what side was it flat on? The bottom?
No, save it for next hour. Let's have the audience. Yeah. Let's just tease it. The next hour
after the news,
you're going to talk about changing your flat tire.
Oh yeah, right. Because I was pretty, No,
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it now. Don't spoil it now.
I'll show you a picture of the guy that took your job at JFK.
No, he didn't.
Oh no.
No, he didn't take my job. He got the job because I turned it down.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know how they went from me to G. Gordon Liddy. I don't know where that leap of thinking was, but I have no idea what the leap of faith was there.
Yeah.
So, yes, Kathleen.
It's my son. He twisted his ankle today at school.
Actually, I think it was my foot.
Whatever.
Would he trip on that pencil?
Well, I'll have you know, some
no,
kid.
but he's walking like an old man in a diaper or something.
Well, I'll have you know that some kids went to school today and got shot. So,
Oh, man. I know. Thanks, Alex. Jeez.
Now what's the? Is it Six Flags that's down in that Kalita, wherever it is where the school was? It's off of Highway 5.
Santa Carlita. You're from California. You know where Santa Carlita is.
I never stop there unless I need gas.
Yeah,
it's on Highway 5. There's some Six Flags or Knott's Berry Farm or some stupid thing like that on one side. There's a gas station on the other side, and then you're out of Santa Carlita.
What do you think the weather is down there today?
Probably 65.
Oh, okay. I'm just, we're just we want to find we're looking for our own niche in the podcast world, and I think we found one nobody else is taking.
All talk and all weather.
Yeah,
all 77 in Miami. And Baghdad it's 60.
What?
Wow,
it's
Baghdad.
60 in Baghdad.
And we're not in the weather prediction business. We give you the cold, hard facts.
We
sometimes we give you the warm facts if it's Miami.
Yeah. But I mean, we're gonna give you the best weather we possibly can, folks. So stay tuned.
All weather, all day.
Because if some woman out there can get 1 million viewers giving makeup tips, I think the least we can do is get several 100,000 just saying what the weather is where we are.
Maybe I
Do we
should
have to
do
have
one.
suits and stuff?
Huh?
Do we have to wear suits? Ties?
At least the jacket and the tie.
If you want to, and if one of you would like to at some point maybe do a blue screen and have the weather in back of you,
I've been thinking about that.
No, we'll do it the old-fashioned way. We have the Velcro, and you take the sun and you stick it up there. Take some clouds and stick it up there, or we'll just draw it.
Yeah. By the way,
the next time it fucking rains here, I'm going to broadcast live from outside.
Okay. All right. Good.
It's fucking going to be hardcore.
Did you say it's 40-something degrees there?
Where I live?
Yeah.
No, it's like 27.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're having a good time here, coming up with a new format, because this one definitely isn't working,
Hey, you were right about the Sierra. I can't download Mojave, and so it looks like my old MacBook Pro is going to be a brick.
Well, no, it's not a brick. It's not a brick. You just run Sierra.
Yeah, well, but I can't update anything. I tried to.
Well, what are you going to?
Even Skype, I couldn't.
Oh, really? Here's what I hate about Apple more than anything else, and that's how they take something you bought with your good money, maybe, and it's like 7 years old, 8 years old, and because they built it well, it still works. Okay.
Yeah.
And then they say, but we're sorry, we're going to turn it into a brick, and it's not going to work anymore. Well, fuck you. I bought your fucking product, and I bought in those days, you bought it for like $2-3 grand,
Yeah, this was like $3 grand. $3,300.
Well, it should. I've got some people have PCs out there that are still managing to work, and they use like Windows. Some, not the newer Windows, but the older Windows, and they keep working.
You mean like a 286 machine? I don't think so.
Not 286s. I mean, things have gotten better than that, but I think there's some that still do Windows NT.
Yeah.
And
Alex, remember when I got that computer and you wanted to trade Toshiba Bob? Because mine had, I don't know, and mine was like 133 megahertz.
What do you mean by Toshiba Bob? You mean I had that program in it that Microsoft came out with called Bob? Anybody remember that?
This was the name of your computer. This was in like 96, 97.
Yeah.
And I go, look what I got. And I gave it to you to set up. And you're like, name it. And I go, okay, Enzo. So you put Enzo in it. And as you fired it up, you were all oohing and awing, and you kept asking me if I wanted to trade Enzo for Toshiba Bob. That's when I became suspicious.
You know, he likes that kind of stuff. I got a VHS recorder, a Mitsubishi, and it only had 2 hours and 6 hours, but it had a wireless remote control, and it was the first one. Alex had to borrow it because his had a wire on it, and mine was wireless. And I don't know, he had it for months.
Did I really? I can't remember that. But then again, I don't remember you. So how am I going to remember that? You know. But
well, do you remember when we'd be at your apartment, we'd set up your camera, and first it would be me talking, you know, hey, why? And the guy's like, hey, yeah, turn on your camera. And when we turned on the camera, it was you, and you were lip syncing to what I was saying. We were terrible.
Yeah, we were terrible.
It was fun.
There was also this, wasn't there this thing we bumped into somewhere online where people like were going online and fucking in front of you?
Yes.
Do you remember that? and we pretended like we were some kind of swinging couple, and we would pretend like we were gonna do something, but we didn't, and that they did.
Yes.
What was that? It was some kind of...
I don't know. I vaguely remember that. And they'd be pissed.
And this is in 1996, I think, you know, that this was happening. And then they go, so we just fucked for you. Now what are you going to do for us? And we go, say goodbye.
You get your ass kicked. Well, I guess you.
No, you can't. They somehow they didn't know who you were. There was no way. It was weird.
They didn't know where to find us.
I don't know how you. I don't know how you got onto this.
Oh,
thing.
so it was online.
It was online. Yeah.
Oh,
I was probably sitting at your desk putting in www.fuckme.com or whatever.
Yeah. And there they were. They were just, hi, we're so and so and so and so. Hey, watch, I'll go down to my wife. You know, go right ahead. You know,
idiots.
Yeah.
That's entertainment.
That's entertainment, if there ever was one.
Now, I'd never gone into the Mitchell Brothers Theater. I'd passed it a million times on Polk and Larkin or wherever.
Sure.
But didn't they do that shit there? And well, you could sit there and watch if you wanted to.
I guess, but we didn't have to pay for this online.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had to run like thieves in the night.
No, we didn't have to run. We just pushed.
We just stayed in the comfort of our nice, cozy home and laughed.
And went, goodbye.
Well, that's amazing that it was two-way like that.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that was early on. That was, that was, I think they called it Facebook. I can't remember what they called it.
Yeah.
Did you invent that?
Yeah. But I mean, that was crazy. I remember that, and we were amazed that these people were even there.
We're like, what idiots!
But I can't remember how we found that place.
We just stumbled upon it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what we're talking about, Charlie?
No, I just remember stumbling across stuff like that on the internet.
Yeah.
When I first got on it.
Yeah, sure. Just like Phil stumbled into the Mitchell Brothers.
I was happy with that Jazzercise that was on TV. You know, where it was like a Busby Berkeley thing, and they were beautifully choreographed. And they had, did you remember that? And it was in San Francisco.
We were watching people fuck, Phil. You were watching people do stretching exercises. Come on, there's a big difference.
It was pretty nice, though. And
there's
on TV, it was
because they would never see us because they would ask us to turn on our camera.
Yeah.
Because we had our camera off, and that's when we hang up on them, so they never knew who we were.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't you just make noises and say, I don't have a camera, but I can, ooh, it's so good. Yeah.
Well, we could have done that. We could have also said, damn camera doesn't work. Oh, well.
Oh, man. Except we would have started laughing.
Yeah. This is the kind of times we had together. We did some bizarre, stupid shit.
We were terrible.
We were the worst people in the world. Okay, as we talked about instilling road rage in other people. That was our favorite sport.
Well, I remember we were in San Francisco and we were on our way to a movie. And so we had turned the corner and the traffic was stopped. And so the rear end of the Acura was like in the crosswalk. And this guy hit the trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And I must have dove from the front seat to the back seat to lunge at the guy.
Yeah.
And then and the guy jumped back, and then the light turned green.
He was pissed you were in the crosswalk.
Right. There's. By the way,
crosswalk Nazis.
Everybody, be quiet. We've been joined by Norman Bates, ladies and gentlemen.
Guess what? She's still alive.
Hey, Tony. Hey, Tony. How's your?
Not for long.
Don't say that. Don't put the kibosh on her. Alex, is it a bad thing that, you know what I told my mother the other day? Because I crack jokes. I actually really did this. I says, Mom, I can only collect unemployment if I work 26 weeks. And guess who's ready? She's out. She can go after 26. I said.
After 26 weeks, she can kick the old proverbial bucket.
That's the law in New York.
No. You can, if you get fired or the job ends, you can collect unemployment as long as you worked so many quarters.
Consecutively, Phil? Can I count?
No, I don't even think it has to be consecutively.
Oh, then I'm safe. Okay.
Yeah. Because
I love Tony.
Yeah,
What
your life plan?
Tony, I love what you're passing off as work.
It's not work, Alex.
I know it's not. That's what I'm saying.
And I sell some comic books. I can't. I'm telling you.
You mean the rubbing of the feet stuff and the wiping of the ass stuff is not work?
Well, my sister does the bathing. But I have to say something. I told my mother, I said, there's only so much I can do here. I said, I called Nancy.
So what, your sister's your intern? Is that what this is?
My sister comes over and does the cleaning. She says, I keep her clean. That's right.
She's your subcontractor.
She lives around the corner, Charlie, so it's only like, all I got to do is call her. She's here in 5 minutes.
Well, listen.
You got a hose?
She's
floor drain?
If this whole prostate cancer thing doesn't work out well for me, you maybe have to come over here and do me,
All right. You know what? Oh, I would talk your ears off. Tell me another story. Get him out of here. I'll cook good for you.
You know something? If I were not well and I had you taking care of me, I would pray for death every day I woke up.
Imagine if he was cooking. You should see some of these meals he puts on.
I'm dying. Leave me alone. Oh, come on already. It's not that bad.
How many people do you send the same shit daily? He sends me to meals. He keeps asking me to play some stupid game.
By the way, everybody, shut up. It's 13 past the hour, and time now for Josh to tell us about his flat tire.
Oh, yeah.
It's tire time.
Yeah, that's right.
If you thought the weather in your neck of the woods was a great format, wait till you hear flat tire stories.
And can I ask, how many ply was it?
I don't know.
And was it a radial?
Probably.
Oh, please tell me it was a radial.
We don't.
Oh, go ahead. I can't wait.
And it was pretty flat. No air.
And did you change it yourself, or did you call 3A's?
No, I've changed it myself.
Really?
It was pretty. Yeah. I don't know.
That's really.
Man, it was just right before we were like 15 minutes away from the hotel. I mean, we were just outside of DC, and it was like, I don't know, 8:30 in the morning. It was really busy. I mean, it was like DC rush hour traffic. Yeah. And all I had to do was get off at the exit to get on this George Washington Parkway, and we took it.
Now, did you have a spare tire? Did you have one of those donuts they give you because they've gotten too cheap to give you a spare tire?
I mean, I have a Jeep SUV, so it has a little bit better than those little dinky things, but it wasn't a complete full size, tire. So, and then of course, when you're on a trip, the spare tire is always in the back, and of course, what do you always have in the back? You have all your stuff, so we had to move all that around to the front seat. But I don't know. I must have ran something over, I guess, because my tires were in excellent shape. I mean, there was nothing wrong. It just
not after you got the flat.
Right. I changed lanes and to go to the exit, and like right after I changed lanes, the low tire light started dinging, and I just remember thinking, that's fucking, that's weird. There's no way I got a low tire, and then it was flashing, and then I saw that it was just getting lower and lower. I was like, hey, I got a problem. So
Tell me,
I actually had to stop
wall.
on the exit ramp and change it there.
By the way, our viewership during this story has gone up.
That's great.
Yes,
Was it a white wall?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No, it had like as soon as I took it off, I looked at it, and it had a cut like right in the middle between the middle tread. It was about an inch and a half. So there must have been some kind of little piece of metal or something.
Conspiracy.
Tony, stay right where you are. We'll get back to you in a moment.
DC conspiracy.
No, it. Unfortunately, I had to put the spare on, and we drove to an NTB, National Tire and Battery, that was 4 or 5 miles away, and they actually got me in and had the same kind of tires that I had, because I really will only buy one kind. I was just going to buy something cheap if they didn't have it, just until I got home. But they actually had the same, Michelins that were on my Jeep at the time. It cost me $300 So
don't you have to do two at the same time?
No, I'm just going to go ahead and do the other 3 now that I'm home. But at that time, I just wanted to get the fuck out of there. And they were super slammed. They were actually really nice. And like the guy that manages the shop actually just, because I already had the tire off and everything, he just went ahead and changed it himself to help us out because, he knew we were on vacation and all that. So, just traveling through. They actually took really good care of me. But it's actually, the story gets a lot worse because it's actually pretty funny because 2 years ago when we went on vacation to Philadelphia, the same exact thing happened in downtown Philadelphia right in front of the hotel. I actually had to change a tire there in the parking garage because there was this great big pothole in front of where you turned that I couldn't see because we got in the late afternoon at like 4 o'clock on Christmas Eve. And the area was really busy, and there were all these people walking around downtown Philadelphia everywhere, and I was really just paying attention to pedestrians. And I hit this huge pothole, and it actually just blew the tire right there. I mean, so yeah, I did go ahead and buy 4 that time. That cost me $1,200. So I mean, we've had some terrible luck with that stuff.
Exciting internet here.
Oh, it was. It was.
Yeah. By the way, let me mention that our numbers on YouTube are up, but nobody's watching us on Facebook. Absolutely nobody. In fact,
nobody wanted to miss the story.
In fact, I can go over and I can actually just do a special program on Facebook that nobody's watching. So let me give them the finger.
Can you see Jeff?
Huh?
Can you see
I
Jeff?
can see Jeff. Yes, I can see Jeff. Wait a minute. Let me go back, folks. And
is our sound off on Facebook?
No, your sound is on today on Facebook.
Oh, he's giving him the finger.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should have thought, I should have been more aware of the needs of GabNet. I probably should have at least recorded the tire changing, or, I really should have live streamed it.
Yeah.
But at the least I could have recorded it. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, we had the same thing happen in Philadelphia, and this pothole, I mean, it was terrible. So I go back out and what's that?
Jeff has his
wants
hand
to know
up.
how deep it was.
It was pretty
I really
bad.
want to know, and we can wait until tomorrow night. Maybe this should be tomorrow night. We can discuss this.
This is a whole show. Yeah.
Was it on the left-hand side?
Yeah.
Right?
Left rear, absolutely.
Be concerned about that.
So I changed that.
Now,
I changed the one in Philadelphia that time, and
was that on the
we
left
go in
also?
and we checked into the hotel, and we put everything away, and I go back down to the park garage where it's parked there with the flat tire, and I change it, and I go back in, and when I'm changing the tire, like, the parking garage is right on the edge of the street, and 2 people walk by during the time that I'm changing the tire, wanting to know, if I had any money I could give them.
Spare change, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of jack do you have? Do you have a bottle jack, or do you have a scissor jack, or do you have one of those ones that hook over the bumper?
So I go back in. It's Christmas Eve, and I go back into the hotel in Philadelphia, and it's a different person at the desk. And they're like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" They're like, "So how are you enjoying your time in Philadelphia so far?" And I swear, I said, I've been here for 20 minutes, and I hit a pothole that blew my tire, and 2 bums asked me for money. But other than that, I said, everything's fucking great. It's a great city. Glad to be here. Bye.
You think the bums can call in on GabNet?
No, they Trump ended that free phone fucking deal.
Yeah. You know something? I don't think I ever had a flat tire with Kathleen, but the only reason I kept her around was, and I never told you this, Kathleen, was because if I did get one, you could change it.
Oh, I got 10 minutes flat.
Yeah.
Easily. Like in my car, I keep a floor jack, a small floor jack, because I can't stand those crank things.
Yeah.
You just slip that floor jack, lock it, 2 pumps, it's up.
Yeah,
So-
Well, that was and I was going to say it was the same with me, right, Kathleen?
Or 2 pumps and it was out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we've had terrible luck traveling. I don't know why. It just seems like every trip that we take, we always have some kind of problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I could drive around. I mean, my vehicles are in top shape. I mean, I did that for a living. Like I told you for years. And I mean, I take care of everything. And I mean, I never really had problems, thankfully. But every time we go somewhere, I always do. I mean, the trip in between those two, when we went down south last year, a rock flew off a semi-truck and busted my windshield in fucking Louisiana. It was like...
Wait a minute. We've just been joined, hold on a second, by Rob Alfano, who is here again for the second night in a row. He must have felt kind of jealous not being able to join in on I Have a Flat Tire radio.
I love the format. I love the format. And I got to tell you, I have a tire problem too. My company car, the right tire, every 3 weeks I have to put air in it, and I don't know why.
No, don't tell me air.
Every 3 on the way to the
Slowly.
Are you using nitrogen at least?
Now, am I?
I was going to say, you should try nitrogen.
Listen, it's been a long
On the way
time.
to the airport, the light came on again.
Oh, not the light. The idiot light.
Yeah, turn your mic
The
down
idiot
just a
light.
little bit, Phil. Would help if you
Turn it up or
just a
down?
little down.
So doesn't Rob live up there in Northern
Well,
Virginia?
what I was going to ask,
I do, yes.
So I was at like...
I live about an hour from D.C.
Yeah, okay. So I was like...
Orlando tonight, but I live in Orlando. But I'm in Orlando tonight, and I know it's last week's format, but it's going to be raining tonight into tomorrow, and it's about 60 degrees out.
oh no, that's last hour's format.
Yeah,
last
hours for that.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'm
an hour.
last
I was,
week.
I think
Yeah.
on I-395 South, the ramp to the George Washington Parkway. I mean, it was a really busy area. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's a great place to get a flat.
No, it was nuts. But
That's busy.
You're wait a minute, hold on a second, Rob. You're a little.
It's now 57 in Tracy.
Okay. You're a little muffled, Rob. I don't know if you've covered your microphone or
He's
not.
on his.
How about now?
There, that's great. Yeah.
I probably had my finger on the mic.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be our format tomorrow night. So you want to call for that? Is finger on the mic programming, where everybody will put their finger on the mic and sound muffled.
now, do you know the tread depth of the tire that you're having problems with? Is it worth fixing, or should we just get another tire?
Can you see the wear bars?
Yeah, that's bad.
Have you could buy one of those.
Well, let me
gauges
ask
and
you
put
all
in
a question.
Yes, you can.
And this
Why
is
buy one when you can
this
steal it?
this fits in with the theme of what we're talking about. It's been a while since I have had a car or even really driven one, okay? But the last time I drove, I seem to vaguely remember that if I wanted air, I had to pay for it.
Oh, yeah.
Only if you're Jewish.
Yeah.
Do you remember the one free thing you got at two free things you got at a gas station were water and
Water
air?
and-
I used to take my bike there and always fill up the tires.
Remember when they cleaned your windshield and checked your oil?
Remember,
yeah.
remember
Well,
when
I
each
have a tip for you. If you guys have Sheetz gas stations in your area,
Yeah.
the air is still free. there.
Don't curse.
Yeah, sheets, shits.
It's $1.75 here.
Yeah.
It's almost $5.
Wait a minute. The air is how much do they charge?
$1.75.
Yeah,
for
but-
air. I thought
Wait a
you
minute.
meant-
Hold on a
Air
second.
in
Wait a
your
minute.
tires.
Wait a
You
minute.
gotta
Wait a
pay
minute. This is driving me nuts. Are you telling me you have to pay $1.75 for air for your tires?
Yep.
For that
know,
good old
and it's-
some gal
fair.
comes out and gets down on her knees and blows the tire up.
Yeah.
And it's timed, right? If you don't get it in time,
It's time. You got to do all 4 tires real fast, or else you're gonna pay another $1.75.
The
Damn.
key is you go inside and you tell them I didn't finish the
Wait a
tires.
minute, wait a minute. I'll tell you what's boggling my mind here. What is so expensive about dispensing air?
You know what they charge you
Compressor,
for?
I guess?
For all the people who break that thing all the time.
Oh,
How
really?
many
must
times
be
you go
it.
up to the gas station and the damn thing's broken? They got to replace the rubber hose. They got a problem with this, and it's always out of order. So now they charge you $1.75, and it covers all their expense.
Holy crap.
It's crazy because in some of the larger cities that we visited, I've actually seen the little air compressors they set out there that are actually set up for you to swipe your credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so
I mean, because
glad
who has
I have
$1.75 in change nowadays? I mean, I'm saying that I've
Gee,
actually
will
seen
they-
it
will they
with
take-
fucking card readers on them.
Will they take my Apple Wallet?
Hey, you give them a couple more years, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure they will eventually.
Gotta get there.
By the way,
I was
my
on
watch
the-
now,
I
my watch now takes my Apple Wallet. I can just double click here and I just
Well, that's-
hold it up to
Hey,
the thing.
if you walk down in the street in Harlem, somebody else will take your wallet. But you know,
Some white guy.
I was driving on 680 today, and there was this guy in a Crown Victoria, and he's on his rim on his right front tire. And the rubber from his tire was flying all over the thing. I try to give him the horn and to let him know what was going on, and he was just driving like the cops were after him or something, and he went through a nail spike thing. But yeah, and actually I took out the thing from my onboard camera so I could look at it this afternoon when I came home. This is a little chip that is in my what do you call it, dash cam,
Yeah.
and so I was looking at it while not too long ago, just to see. The things were flying all over the place. Sparks were coming out. This guy's driving like he didn't notice a thing.
Holy shit.
Is he all right, you think?
Well, not in the head.
Probably high.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think you could probably do pretty good having a channel with just those videos of dash cams. I mean,
People, the Russians have.
No, I used to do a thing when we were doing the TV version of this show.
Used to do one with people
and I
shooting
had a blue screen in back of me,
Yeah.
and we would play those dash cam videos, and I would pretend like I was driving, and go rolling off the So
You used to have them where people would have accidents with guns. One guy shot his hat off, and another woman fell down.
My
with a shotgun.
favorite clips that we used to run on the show, I have to tell you, are women in bikinis with machine guns.
With machine guns.
Yeah, with high powered like AKGs or whatever they call those things.
AK
Whatever.
28s or whatever.
And women with bikinis, they may still be
47s.
online shooting guns, and it made them ripple a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they never had that on NRA TV.
No,
And
they didn't.
Dan
If they had,
Bongino, but-
if they had, NRA TV would still be around.
He'll be around.
What they go?
Yeah, that died fast, didn't it?
Charlton. It's in the ring
Is
right now.
Well, that
Scientology
was
is Scientology
the
channel
infighting.
is the Scientology channel still on?
I don't know.
I subscribed to both of those, and I made them under a category on my Apple TV that was just at assholes, and I would go there every now and then and see what was happening. But
Hey,
You
has
go back to
anybody-
the
Rob?
I heard you mention earlier, and then you just mentioned TV, subscribing to TV. Has anybody seen the Apple channel yet?
Yes, I
Watched
have.
That the Jennifer Aniston.
It's very
news?
good. It's very good.
Yeah, it is really good. I watched the first 4 episodes.
Yeah, and the thing about what was it? The space program. I'm trying to remember the name of the show.
NASA TV.
No, but it is the premise of the show is the Russians got to the moon before we did.
Oh, I wanted to see it. Is it good?
Yeah, it's very good because
I gotta watch that.
It's
I want to see that. Yeah.
it's created by Ronald Moore, who did Deep Space Nine and Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, I like that.
And
Make yourself at home. Jesus.
oh, geez, your cat.
Body language.
Your cat is just
Oh yeah, this is Kitty Girl, man. If she doesn't get her way, you can be a little bitch, huh?
Making me miss mine.
Well, you know what we should do is probably have everybody show us their pets.
Maybe our pets can do the weather.
We're looking for new formats every hour on the hour. What did you show me a picture? Oh, what's the name of that? That's your dog, right?
Yeah, Ella.
How's she doing?
The cancer hasn't metastasized yet, so she's pooping, she's peeing, she's eating, she's jumping,
Which is more than any of us are doing. Oh, there's your son trying to hide from us, right?
Yes.
All we ever see of him is a blanket over him.
Yeah.
You know, is that the? Yeah.
No heat.
But now, does he have his blanket over him right now?
He's got his booty on. Yes.
Oh, I was going to say, because when he doesn't using the blanket, just turn over there quickly.
Was that you, Rob, when you were younger?
No, that's my 3-year-old cat. Look how big he is compared to that.
Wait a minute. Let me
The blonde,
let me
the
see
blonde
here.
kid with
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
That,
with the blue shirt.
That's a big cat.
That is a big cat.
What kind of
He's
cat?
about 17 pounds.
What kind of cat is it? Just big?
He's a rag doll.
A rag doll. Yeah, you told me that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
They don't walk too well, do they? Or they?
Oh no, they're fine.
They can't jump or something. I just heard they.
No, he goes on top of the refrigerator. They go everywhere.
Yeah.
Rag dolls can't jump.
Rag dolls can't jump. So there was no, it was hard today. There was hardly anything about Trump on the news. Why? Because some kid shot up a school down in where is it again?
You know why?
Santa Clarita.
Santa
Clairvoyant, and the kid shot up there. So all day, that's all they were running, which was fine.
How many tires went flat during that shooting?
Will you stop it? It's not funny, Phil. It's there we go.
Yes, it is. Even the dummy in the middle was laughing. The wooden one. Show him the dummy. It was laughing.
Oh.
Yeah. That's kind of scary seeing that dummy sitting there.
Yeah.
It's kind of spooky.
It's funny when the cat's sitting on its lap.
Hey, Alex, that was your replacement.
What?
The dummy.
The dummy? Yeah.
Dummy.
Yeah, could be. Well, when the cancer finally gets me, I'm going to need a replacement, so maybe the dummy can take over.
I don't think so.
Well, you don't think so? What?
That you're gonna die.
Okay. I read today though that if you reach 80, your life expectancy is 88.
Oh, wow, that's pretty.
I guess they figure if you went that long enough without your wife killing you, you're going to survive a few more years.
One more
You know why men die young?
Why do men die young?
Because they want to.
Well, you know why women get periods, don't you?
Why?
Because they deserve it.
Oh.
Now you know, Sean.
I heard that if they didn't have a pussy, there'd be a bounty on them.
Now that's a sexist joke.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Well. What? You just can't have any fun anymore, can we? Everybody is so upset by anything you would say or do. What's wonderful about doing this program is nobody's coming after me because nobody's watching it. Okay, so
there's 27 right now.
It's as they say, there's safety in no numbers.
Yeah, I mean, did you ever have, Alex, how much did you have to bite your tongue sometimes where you said, shit, I really want to say this?
What do you mean? Here? Never. But
but on the radio.
Well, it's serious. If I said half the shit today
if I were on Sirius, that I said back then, I wouldn't be there anymore. Well, wait a minute, I'm not there anymore. So, but no, I mean, it's I was always kind of tasteless.
Didn't you have the bathing suit contest at WMCA in the middle of the winter? You had women coming down.
Well, I know.
in bikinis?
What I did was said I would give away, I don't know, whatever prizes to any woman who showed up in a bikini, and it was like 5 degrees below zero or something like that.
You said something that was so funny one morning on Sirius.
No, this was WMCA. This is before you were born.
Serious. You said that one of the workers there's father opened a pizzeria, and you said the only Italian person I know who could open up a pizzeria and go out of business 6 months later. And I started laughing, and I was, oh God! I said, because how many guineas go out? He's like, I never heard of that.
By the way, folks, he is a
Italian American,
Afro-American Guinea or whatever. I don't know what the term is.
That was funny. I was like, oh my God, that's funny.
Now, Mario Cuomo a while back was really Chris Cuomo, almost slugged somebody out because he called him a Guinea. Huh?
They've been making names of him at the table or something.
Yeah.
Tony, all of a sudden he became like a bouncer, like he wanted to kill the guy.
Tony, there's no mafia, right?
No.
The Italians,
No more.
There's no mafia.
No.
You think they're still in power around there?
Stands for the Mothers and Fathers Italian Association.
Yeah.
Really?
Right. Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. The mafia still exists. They still do business. They're still around. I don't think they're as powerful as they once were.
Well, there's plenty of mafias out there. There's Chinese mafia. And they're way more vicious than the Italian mob ever was.
There's a Greek mafia, and if you don't buy those paper coffee cups from them,
I like those ones. Is that the ones
they're going to break your legs.
The
okay?
blue ones?
The blue ones with the thing.
Yeah, I always like those.
It's been a pleasure
that's like
serving
a
you,
little
or something like that.
It's like traditional. Like
I remember going to the Sons of Sicily dance. Remember that? When Tony
yes.
Tantillo would invite us?
Yeah. Yes.
So we were in a room full of Italians, and then there was a Shiksa and a Jew.
Yeah.
You should have said, "Where's John?" They all would have jumped up.
Tony Tantillo, was he the fresh grocer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was my best friend at the time, and he took me to some great restaurants, man. He just, because he did restaurant reviews. So we would go in and they would make something that wasn't on the menu, Remember?
He would call me up when I was working at the Oakland airport for UPS, and he'd be filming in Jack London Square, and he'd say, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He said, "Well, come on down. We're filming in Jack London Square." Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah. But then I came to New York, and he was working here, and I called him up, and I saw him once, and he's never talked to me since. I mean, it's like I didn't have a friend anymore because he was too popular or something. I don't know.
What's he doing now? Same crap?
I don't know. He was on Channel 2 here doing the same old shit, holding up an orange and saying, "This is an orange."
Thanks for telling me that.
Look at that orange. He had an ability to hold fruit better than anybody else on TV. Okay? And he did that for years and years, and I would always occasionally see him. We watched CBS Sunday Morning, and he would be doing the Green Grocer thing just before
the guy, the Green Grocer guy.
Yeah. Well, he called himself Tony Tantillo. I guess he called himself the Green Grocer. I mean, I don't know, but anyway,
he was the Fresh Grocer.
The Fresh Grocer.
He took over for Joe Carcione.
Yeah, who was the Fresh Grocer?
That's right, Joe Carcione. I had a neighbor whose father owned a video company.
Oh, by the way, new format. We just changed formats to television personalities you never heard of. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
Go ahead. So anyway, he was always on just before CBS Sunday Morning would go on, and I would swear at my TV set, say, "Why haven't you called me, motherfucker?" Right? But then recently I turned in, and he wasn't doing it anymore. His daughter was doing it for a while,
Oh shit, nepotism at its best.
Yeah,
Now
and
she's-
then he wasn't doing it anymore. So I don't know.
Maybe he got whacked.
Maybe they found somebody who was better with fruit than he was. You know.
Well, now he'll call you.
Of course. Of course.
Hey, you got any work?
Yeah. Nobody.
He'll do his fruit on Gap.
Nepotism is how you got your job.
What?
Tony got nepotism to get it for his job.
Yeah, that's true. I was her last.
Oh, Tony. Yeah, Tony's job is a nepotism job.
That's right.
Yeah, but
She put a bad word, but she's loving it really.
did he have to change any tires to get that
No,
job?
but he knows his boss. You know.
Oh,
He
she
started
lets-
out in weather.
He's intimately acquainted with his boss.
That's
I
right.
think there's something strange going on.
You know what it is? Put more salt in the food. I'm telling you, I don't even put salt. I'm watching her salt now because too much.
You know, in
salt
prison they put
Hey,
saltpeter in the food.
is,
so you don't,
is Tony listening to me right now? No, I don't think so. Okay. You're not listening right now, are you, Tony?
I won't.
You do realize where Tony came from, don't you?
Where did I?
And now he's washing it.
Oh no, that's not my job.
No, that's the beanstalk.
I don't-
Came from the
yeah,
beanstalk. He
My
still,
eyes
he
burn.
still thinks there's Santa.
That's when Nancy comes in. Nan, come over. It's time to wash. I punch out at that time.
Yeah. I
She's
was
like,
there.
"It's good."
I was
She's like,
there. I was there once, and I never want to go back.
My mother's an elf. I said, "Ma, you're so small. We're gonna get a small casket." I said, "Get the measuring stick out." I told her.
Yeah. Well, you know.
There's Alex on the sofa.
What?
Yeah.
Right there with
He doesn't
the,
know. He
with the
doesn't
red,
know. He doesn't
thing.
know it, Phil. Be quiet.
What's that?
Perfect.
The Alex,
Huh?
the little wooden thing.
What?
With
No.
the red handkerchief in his pocket. Oh, he doesn't know it. Geez, I'm slow on the uptake. Am I slow? I'm looking at the dummy.
Things at her now.
Yeah, I'm rubbing off on
You know,
yourself.
I've got the whole computer turned his way, and now it's just all, shh, he doesn't even know. and then Sean's sitting there casually going, yeah, that's right, shut up, motherfucker. You know, he doesn't even know that the camera's on him. And now look, my son.
I never met your son, actually.
No,
This is the only time I've ever met him.
yeah,
Yeah.
via Skype.
Via Skype. Yeah. I came to New York about the time before you had the kid.
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
him in 05. You left in 03.
Yeah. Yeah.
2-year gestation period.
Huh? Yeah. 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 Well, listen. We did think she was pregnant once, and I remember this because you sheepishly said to me, "I think
I was freaking out.
I think I might be pregnant." And how did I reply to that?
You were happy.
I said, "Okay, you know,
Yeah.
if you have a kid, great." You know.
I would absolutely. You said I would absolutely trust you as the mother of my.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what did he do? He asked you, what is your name again?
Yeah. And then I handed her a coat hanger and I left.
Yeah.
God.
No, but I even surprised myself with that answer. But I always felt that if I had had a kid by you, the biggest fear I ever had was having a kid by somebody I didn't want to have it with, and somebody that I didn't trust to be a good mother. And I never for a moment doubted that you would be a good mother, in spite of the fact you had none of the qualities. You were just too goofy, you know.
Yes.
But she got pregnant, she had a kid, and look at this kid, he turned out to be fine, except for the
How
fact.
can you look? He's under a cover.
I know. We've seen him a couple of
Goofy
times.
mothers are the
But,
best.
huh?
Goofy mothers are the best.
Oh yeah, yeah. Is she fun?
Yes.
Say it louder.
Well, that
Yes.
Say it louder, I'll beat you.
Yes.
That's one way to get an answer.
boy. This show is just amazing tonight.
It's going downhill fast, people.
Well, it's,
So,
what?
how many pounds of air did you put in the
Oh
tire?
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ!
Phil, you didn't check. We changed formats.
Oh my God! No more tires.
We changed formats to sun under blanket format.
Okay. That's hot stuff.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Hot air stuff.
Yeah. You like it so far, Rob? Is it working for you?
The sun under blanket?
Yeah.
I think it's a winner.
Yeah, I think it's a winner. And
I actually like the idea of a new format every 30 minutes because it keeps it fresh.
yeah. Or at the rate we're going, a new format every 5 minutes. But
It's a show about some things.
Yeah. Like, we have all this stuff going on, which would drive Phil apoplectic if we talked about it and bring out the worst in him. But
I don't mind a kid under the blanket.
and I probably, if we sat here and we started talking about, there he is.
The
See,
kid.
there he is. He's writing
Banana
back.
boy now.
Yeah, look at him. There he is. There he is. Yeah. Boy, how did he turned out okay, this kid. The last time I saw a picture of him, he was like chubby and everything, and now he's not. Yeah.
No, well, he's built just like my dad, and my dad was stocky until high school. He shot up to 6'5", and this kid's already shooting up.
How tall is he?
He's almost as tall as me, so he's probably about 5'9", 5'10".
Wow. Well, you're what?
Trump's trying to get rid of the fentanyl. Stop him from shooting up.
Yeah. Well, wait a minute. Well, you were 6'1", if I remember correctly, right?
With shoes on.
With shoes on.
Because how tall are you? 6'2"?
No, I was 6 feet. I was shorter than you by just a little bit.
No, you were not.
Yes, I was.
Not.
Was 2. By the way, we just changed formats again. This is called Two People Argue Radio.
Arguing. Are two, are not, are two, are not, are two.
Neener. Anyway.
Yeah.
But we could probably get some very decent numbers if we started yelling and screaming about what a douchebag Trump is.
I have a metal straw.
Try blowing some air into the tire with that.
I have. I have a plastic. Anybody know what this is? It should be very familiar to you.
Is that what you use in between the 45 RPM record?
No. It should be very familiar to you. That is a coffee stirrer from Starbucks. Although probably since they've gone anti-plastic, they're not using it.
That's what they put in when you get a Starbucks in your car, so it
doesn't spill.
Yeah, it doesn't spill, but it also works as a stirrer.
Yeah.
I think it was a great invention.
It is a good invention.
I think
the tray the paper tray they give you is a good invention too, so that you can carry multiple drinks at the same time.
Yeah. So anyway,
I like those plastic little knives when we were kids and our parents would have cocktails. Man, we wanted one of those so bad, but they'd never let us.
What do you mean plastic knives?
How about the umbrella?
No, not the umbrella. We wanted
the paper umbrella.
Well, I think the greatest invention of all time was the spork. And why they only made them in plastic, I have no idea. I thought that would be great to have, like, a spork. Just a metal spork.
Kentucky Fried Chicken always had the spork, along with a packet of salt and pepper and a thing to wipe your fingers with.
By the way, I got to tell you, we are still hooked on, and I get it every now and then, Popeye's chicken. Popeye's chicken.
The chicken sandwich didn't make its return. It's still not. The Popeyes is still not selling.
Somebody was fighting over it.
Somebody shot somebody the other day over one.
Oh shit!
In a school?
It was crazy. It was crazy. I pulled up. I left a meeting one day. Mm-hmm. 3 of my teammates. Nobody said a word to each other. We all left, and it was like dinner time. And on the way home, 2-hour drive, I ran into 2 of them coming out of Popeyes. We all had Jonesing for this chicken sandwich. I had to go to 3 places because they didn't have the sandwich, and because everybody wanted the sandwich and they didn't have it. You couldn't get chicken. You couldn't get strips. You would get to the drive-thru and they would say, welcome to Popeyes. We only have this, this, and this.
And
I went
straws.
to 3 different Popeyes.
Chicken shortage?
A chicken sandwich shortage.
I know,
which
but it's a
created a chicken shortage. Unbelievable. And now it's still not out yet. They still don't have that chicken sandwich.
At some of these places like McDonald's, they make a chicken or a sandwich, and it's not really chicken. They press this shit together, and it makes it look like chicken.
Yeah.
But you're
all
eating
nuggets are that way.
Yeah, nuggets.
Well, isn't the Popeye sandwich just simply one of their pieces of chicken without the bone in it?
I'll tell you what.
Put
the
between
the Popeyes chicken sandwich, I was lucky enough before it really caught on when it was still in like a test mode. Had it twice, and it is the best chicken sandwich. Chick-fil-A. Forget chicken.
Well, wait a minute.
Chick-fil-A is dry compared to Popeyes.
What makes it so? What makes it so? By the way, we just changed format in case people didn't.
Chicken, all chicken for the next 15 minutes.
Burger King chicken.
What was so great about it? Because I heard it was just their normal chicken between two pieces of bread.
No, the batter on the chicken.
Yeah.
The sauce, like a Dijon or whatever it is that they use, and that brioche bun. Very good.
Have you ever noticed what Popeyes tastes like if you don't eat it for a few hours? And
yes, it tastes great.
The oil,
it tastes great.
Congeals.
It tastes great. Tastes great.
I never had it.
I've never been to Popeyes. I've never been to Chick-fil-A.
Let me apprise you of something. Paul Prudhomme, who was undoubtedly one of the great New Orleans chefs, did my show once, and I said to him, and I had asked what's her name, Julia Child, this question, like, what fast food do you like? And she said, well, before they changed the oil, before they went to lard or something like that, before they went to some kind of canola oil or something, she said, the French fries at McDonald's were wonderful. And so I figured I'd ask the same question of Paul Prudhomme. And I said, what do you think is like the best fast food franchise? And he said, undoubtedly Popeyes. Number one, because the people who started it were my protégés, and the people who work it are my protégés. And he said, if you want the best red beans and rice anywhere, go to Popeyes.
How does Julia Childs make a leek salad?
First you take a leak.
That's right.
But I'm serious. He said that, and I then went out and got the red beans and rice, and I got to tell you, I was at a restaurant once that had red beans and rice, and it sucked. And I said to them, I got an idea for you. Get a bucket, go down to Popeyes and get their red beans and rice and bring it back here, and you'll have a hit. I said, and it was great. The red beans and rice
stuff.
And so the food at Popeyes is designed by New Orleans chefs. They own the company. And the chicken, terrific.
They got these little plastic packets of sauce, and you can take as many as you want.
In fact, because of my diet, I get the Popeyes chicken, and then I take the batter off of it and just eat the chicken.
How dare you?
Right? I eat a little bit of it, so I get a taste of it.
Oh, that would be impossible for me to do.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me tell you this. The chicken alone, because of whatever it's cooked in or whatever, is delicious, even if you don't have the batter. Even if you don't have the batter.
I would, if somebody went out and bought it, and they did that, and they brought it to my house without the skin, I would enjoy it. If I had to peel that off and not eat that batter, there's no way.
Yeah.
Now, which Kentucky Fried Chicken batter do you like? The extra crispy or the original?
I think it's soggy. I'm not a big fan.
Well, no, I wouldn't go to
extra crispy is good.
Well, they don't have the Popeyes everywhere. There's an Arco gas station that's got one in it in Concord, and it's kind of out of the way.
Popeyes is don't go to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Go to Popeyes. Popeyes is terrific. It really is. And that's why people are killing themselves over the chicken sandwiches.
It's crazy.
Stupid.
I would go.
What? Who said I'll go? Is that your son?
Yeah, my son.
Yeah, well, are you going to take the blanket with you?
You're gonna take the blanket with you?
So nobody can see you?
Yeah, go rob Popeyes for me.
You heard of Bubble Boy. Now we got Blanket Boy.
Boy in the cotton blanket. Followed by boy in the
we have
plastic
managed to
bubble.
go almost through this entire show without talking about anything relevant or important. And now,
You going to spoil it?
Josh will summarize the show for today. Josh?
Make America great again.
Change a tire for Trump.
Yeah. And where? Oh, there's Tony. Okay, Tony, how's your mother right now? Is she okay?
Still breathing.
Still breathing? What do? You have a mirror you take in there and put in front of her face?
I'll take a look over that. She snores a little bit. She's small, but she could snore. I don't know where it comes from, Alex.
Yeah, right. What is
She's
this?
sleeping now. She was. I put the TV on sleep. She's watching Game Show Network. We watch old game shows from the 70s. That's what we do.
My mother used to do that.
Yeah, that's because you know the outcome. If you watch
all
the
the
game show, then
answers,
you know how to win.
Who can remember them from that long ago?
Quickly, I used to have a girlfriend who lived up in Northern California. And she had this place, and she had a satellite dish. And it was in those days when on the satellite dish you could get all these shows that they were sending down for syndication and so on. So we would sit there and watch Jeopardy, 5 episodes for the week, all coming down one right after the other. Then I would go back to San Francisco, invite people over to my home, say, "Oh, Jeopardy's on." Turn on Jeopardy and answer everything.
You should go on the show.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Well, how would we sum up this show tonight, Josh? I guess you put it right. Make America great again. Because this show has certainly been grating.
Yeah, there was no Trump and everything was fine.
Tires great again.
Yeah. Well,
we eliminated Trump from the equation and everything magically got better.
Yeah. By the way, just quickly, I'm not doing a show on. I'm not going to do a show on Tuesday, not because I don't think I'll be able to, but I'm having my biopsy that day, and I have to get up so early that I just don't know if I will be in any condition to do a show and not be completely tired and whatever. So.
Now, do they have to take your food and water away the night before, like we do the cat?
No.
Oh, okay.
The cat?
Yeah, like when you got to take your cat in or whatever to do something, or your dog, they always make you always feel terrible about that.
I think that's when they put you under.
The only thing I need to do is take a fleet animal before I go down there. I don't know why. I think he just doesn't want to have to look at my shit. And anyway. Hey, listen, everybody. This has been terrific. This has been the best show we've done all year.
No Trump zone.
Yeah. Phil, thank you, Phil. You were a nice person tonight. Very good. Good. Josh, thank you. Thank you. Charlie, thank you. Schmoody. Kathleen.
Next time, I'll wear my blanket.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Good seeing you down there in Atlanta. Hopefully, maybe we'll see you from Miami. Also, thank you very much, Tony. I hope your mother stays alive so you can keep having a job. And, of course, Rob, 2 nights in a row. What the hell's going on here? Thank you very much, Rob.
Orlando.
Yeah. Everybody, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I will wave back at you. Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, I had the wrong thing on. I should have had the fade, but I didn't have it. I screwed up. It's the only time I screwed up tonight, though. Let me close out the Skype line so that the next program, which is Jack Bishop in the Intersection, can use the Skype lines. Meanwhile, I will be back again tomorrow night, right after Damian Chaplin does the exchange at 9:30 Eastern Time. I'll be here at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. Same station in life. And in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.